in Kabul, Afghanistan, which has been closed for 4 years ago after the Taliban took power in 2021. In a move to expand diplomatic ties with Afghanistan, Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar has made the announcement during Taliban Foreign Minister Muttaqi's first visit to India since 2021. India had kept a small mission open to support trade, medical aid, and humanitarian help. Muttaqi's 6-day visit aims to boost ties and economic relations. With New Delhi, several countries have embassies in Kabul, but only Russia has formally recognized the Taliban government. This reopening shows India's continued support for Afghanistan despite political challenges. Let's listen in to both of the leaders.
Excellency, we have a common commitment towards growth and prosperity. However, these are endangered by the shared threat of cross-border terrorism that both our nations face. We must coordinate efforts to combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. We appreciate your sensitivity towards India's security concerns. Your solidarity with us in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terrorist attack was noteworthy.
لپیړیو راهیسې موجودې دي. دغه نزدېکت یوازې د جغرافیې نه دی بلکې دواړه لوري د سوداګرۍ، ترانزیت، سپورت او ګډ کلتور پر بنسټ هم سره تړلي پاتې شوي دي. په 1940
Now for this discussion, we're joined by retired Major General Dr. Rajan Kochhar. He's a senior strategic and defense expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General Doctor, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, what do you think motivated India to reopen its embassy in Kabul now after 4 years? And what do you think led India to make such a decision this time?
A very interesting question. Afghanistan has been a very important country as far as South Asia is concerned, and if you see the strategic location of Afghanistan, it is also known as a gateway to Central Asia. So everybody wants to have a foothold in Afghanistan today, because from Afghanistan you have an outreach to the Central Asian Republic as well as Iran as well as Russia. So America also wants to come here. Bagram airport has been trying to convince Afghanistan to hand over. Russian interests also here. China is in a big way. China's 4 to 5 major projects are going on in Afghanistan right now. China is interested on CPEC also. So when we see the interest of so many players, I think India cannot be a mute spectator, because India, if you remember, has 400 unfinished projects going on in Afghanistan. In 2021 August, India had to shut down those projects. It had to close down its own embassy there, and almost $3 billion of dollars of Indian investment is right now stuck up in Afghanistan. So strategic reasons, geopolitical reasons, economic reasons, and it's very important to have that stake in Afghanistan today. So I think it is not late, and I think it's the right time that India has gone into Afghanistan now. And this meeting of Muttaqi here in New Delhi, along with Minister Jaishankar, is very, very monumental, I would say that, because it has come at a time when there are a lot of upheavals taking place on the Pakistan border, on the Afghanistan border, as well as American interest here in this region. So I think a very welcome development as far as India is concerned. And what happens now is that moment our technical department there gets upgraded to an embassy, that means that we'll have a direct access to the Afghanistan leadership now. And uh, Minister Jaishankar has already outlined that apart from the maintenance and repair of those existing projects, if you uh, remember the Zarang Dalaram highway, 218 kilometers has been built by India. Reconstruction of the Indira Gandhi Institute of Child Health in Kabul has been India's contribution. And the Parliament of Afghanistan, including the Salma Dam. So, what India is now trying to re-establish its role, what it had prior to 2021 is uh, an outreach has been made that we can be a part of the water resources project, the education and the exchange of students coming into India. uh, Restrictions on visa have been removed. A new visa model has been created for Afghanistan. And most importantly, we want to limit the role of Pakistan in this region, because if you remember, terrorism is one area which is also on the table in these talks, and this counter terrorism is extremely important to us, because most of these terrorists or the weapons which were seen in Jammu and Kashmir when the terrorists had infiltrated have come from Afghanistan. So that is India's most major concern, and we'll be able to rein in these forces uh, of terrorism on Afghanistan soil. And that is why, uh, uh, in a statement, Minister Jaishankar has highlighted that we want cooperation with Afghanistan as far as the terrorist or the terrorism activities are concerned, because these are the security concerns of India. So I think if you look at the entire package, I think it's a very, very positive development, especially when there is so much of churning there in the Indian subcontinent and on our borders today.
And Dr. Rajan Kochar, Major General, how do you think now that now that only Russia has formally recognized the Taliban government, how do you see India's decision to keep engaging with Kabul? Does it impact, or does this have any impact on India's relationship with U.S. or other countries?
See, a point of clarification I would like to add here, that we have not recognized Taliban's new government as such. We have only upgraded our establishment there to a full-fledged embassy. Russia is the only country which so far has recognized Taliban, and we haven't done it so far. So I think India is going one step at a time. And I don't think India will get into this act of recognizing Afghanistan straight away, because it will have to take the cue from the other countries, especially the United States. So I feel that this relations between India and the United States, and with relation to Afghanistan, will US feel good or bad? I think we have a policy of strategic autonomy. We really don't consider these aspects when we frame our foreign policy, because we see a foreign policy of a particular country as a policy which is bilateral between the two countries. It has got nothing to do with Russia, it has got nothing to do with China, it's got nothing to do with the US. So I think from that context of a framework of our foreign policy, it's not going to make any difference to India. It's not going to make much of a difference to the United States also. And if you remember, yesterday India had made a strong statement that India does not agree to establish any foreign air bases in Afghanistan. And I think Pakistan also made a similar statement. and China also made a similar statement. So India is very, very clear that we don't want any foreign interference in our borders, and that is why this statement of Afghanistan was made. So I don't, to sum it up, I would like to say that it's not going to make much of a difference as far as the United States relations with India is concerned, because we have a different kind of a relationship with the US. We now want to establish a full-fledged relationship with Afghanistan, because if you remember, or I'll just highlight one important aspect here. Foreign Minister Muttaqi, he made a statement today that we would like to invite India to carry out mining projects in Afghanistan. So if you remember, China is already there. So now Afghanistan has made a very important outreach to India, that it has invited India also to join into the mining projects, which External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has said that the teams would look into the feasibility of such projects. So I think it's a very strong statement being made today, and it cements this Afghanistan and India relations for the future.
Yes, with that I would like to thank Dr. Major General Rajan Kochar for joining us and sharing that insight throughout this topic. Now we move on. Peru's lawmakers swore in Congress Chief Jose Jerry as the country's new president less than an hour after unanimously voting to remove President Dina Boluarte, as anger mounted over rising crime and accusations of corruption. Shortly after Congress voted to remove her, Boluarte made an address at the presidential palace, where she acknowledged that the same Congress that had sworn her in late 2022 had now voted her removal, with the implications this has for the stability of democracy in her country. Let's listen into what Dina Boluarte has said.
Hoy, 10 de octubre del 2025, después de 2 años, 10 meses y 3 días, me presento ante ustedes como la mujer que aquel 7 de diciembre del 2022, con valentía y amor por mi patria, asumí el mandato constitucional como presidenta de la República. Recibí con honor la banda presidencial por el Congreso de la República. El mismo Congreso que el día de hoy aprobó la vacancia presidencial, con las implicancias que esto tiene para la estabilidad de la democracia en nuestro país. En todo momento invoqué a la unidad, a trabajar juntos, a luchar por nuestro país. Ante este contexto, no he pensado en mí, sino en los más de 34 millones de peruanos y peruanas que merecemos un crecimiento con estabilidad democrática y con un gobierno que trabaje sin corrupción, como lo hemos venido haciendo durante mi gobierno.
Lawmakers from across the political spectrum had late on Thursday summoned Boluarte to defend herself before Congress that same night. She never arrived, and lawmakers had sufficient votes to proceed with a rapid impeachment process. This is all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more news updates from around the world.